In this world of so much negative news, we need inspiration. Be Inspired is created for appreciative audiences just like you. So please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss any of our upcoming inspiring stories.
Our son at age 13 came home from school with a urine that looked like Coca-Cola color. And as a mom, I was petrified. I couldn't even imagine what was happening to him.
Be Inspired podcast. Real stories from real people. Sharing stories of love and loss, struggles and perseverance, laughter and tears, and overcoming adversity.
On this episode of Be Inspired, we're going to meet a kidney recipient with a very unique story and the foundation that helped make it possible. Hi, I'm Bert Baron.
And I'm Lisa Anderson.
And we welcome you to Be Inspired. This season of Be Inspired is made possible by IgA Nephropathy Foundation. And Lisa, this is the very foundation we're going to learn a little bit more about on today's program.
When my daughter was 8, she was diagnosed with IgA nephropathy. I looked high and low for somewhere to go for some help, and I found the IgA Nephropathy Foundation on Facebook.
16 years ago, our son was diagnosed with IgA nephropathy, and I was devastated. We were both devastated. And we decided that if there was nowhere to go, we better create a place for people to go that felt just the way we did.
I joined this foundation about a year and a half ago, shortly after receiving a transplant. Getting a transplant is a treatment, it's not a cure, which is why I think it's very important to be involved in the foundation, because I want to know what kind of research is happening.
The reason I became involved with this foundation is I've been fortunate. I've had a great life, and it's an opportunity for me to do something that's always been special to me, and that's giving back.
And when I reached out to Bonnie, our founder, and I said, I'm still in recovery. It was shortly after my transplant. I said, but as soon as I'm better, I want to join and I want to make a difference. She said, we're ready when you are.
I think in the first 5 years when we held our annual walk, we might have had 5 families. So in just 15 years, we've grown from that small group of people attending our walk into 14,000 patients that have come through our Facebook group. And it's growing every day.
What I'd like to see moving forward for the foundation is that we've done our job. And what I mean by that is that we've created awareness that people are now aware of IgA nephropathy, and that the clinical testing can move at a quicker fashion, drugs can get to market. And I'd like to walk away knowing that there's a treatment and a cure for this disease.
What I want to do with this foundation is learn as much as I can about IgA nephropathy and know what is on the realm in terms of treatment and a cure, but also give back and help people.
To be involved is self-rewarding. To be able to help others in need is something that's important to me, and I'm proud to be part of this great organization.
The IgA Foundation has just been an invaluable resource for me and a way to really just give back to those that have given to me in this time.
I never thought in a million years that I would have this opportunity to help so many people. It's hard to get through, but it has been a blessing for me to serve so many people and to help them find better alternatives. Because at the end of the day, we're all we have. We're a family, our IgAN family. We're all in this together. It's just, we look out for one another, and we have built such friendships. And that's why we call ourselves the IgAN family.
Before today, I hadn't heard of that. And it's not something you hear. You hear about kidney recipients, but not IgA nephropathy. So I'm happy you're here to tell us about it.
You're welcome.
We're honored to be here.
So I guess we'll start by learning about the foundation a little bit. And we have Bonnie Schneider, who is here. Welcome, Bonnie. Great to have you on the Be Inspired set today.
Thank you.
This foundation, talk about the start of it and what the goal and mission of the foundation is.
So back in 2004, our son at age 13 came home from school with a urine that looked like Coca-Cola color. And as a mom, I was petrified. I couldn't even imagine what was happening to him. Very, very scary. So we took him to his doctor, and he said that Most likely could be strep that went on too long, or it could be something called IgA nephropathy. And I knew what strep was, but I didn't know what that was. And he said, well, you can take him home. We'll do a strep test, and then we'll see what happens. And I said, I'm not taking him home. There's no way I'm taking this boy home when he has urine that looks really like Coca-Cola. So we put him in the hospital, and a week later, he was diagnosed with IgA nephropathy. At the time, I wanted to speak with other parents that kind of could help me through the journey and what was going to be our new normal. And we couldn't find anybody. And I'm thinking, in this town, let alone in the state of New Jersey, where are the people that have this disease that's considered rare, but the most common of undetected kidney diseases? And it was baffling to me. So at the beginning, I started with the National Kidney Foundation, raising money, earmarking it for IgA nephropathy research. And I found after 2 years that it really wasn't going to the right place, and that the money was really not going to get research, let alone find a cure to at least get treatment, because there's very little treatment for the disease. So that's when we decided that I needed to quit my job, start the foundation, and now 18 years fast track later, we have over $10,000 on our Facebook group alone, and we now are going global, and we have outreach and patient education. We can help people like Artie, and it's just been an amazing, and I feel just really blessed that God gave me this work to do.
You took something that was so daunting and challenging, and you turned it into a positive, which is something we see so much of here, Bert.
Yeah.
Bonnie, for folks like myself, could you just explain a little bit about IgA to us, exactly what it is?
So it's actually really not a kidney disease, but it's an autoimmune disease that attacks the kidneys. So we all have filters in our kidney, and what happens over time is the IgA breaks down the filters, and we have millions of them. So what happens, it usually ends up in end stage, where a patient has to go on dialysis and ultimately get a transplant, like Artie had to go through. So it can be very benign in the beginning, and then as Eddie's, he was 13 at diagnosis, he's now 30, and he's in a good place, but that can change in an instant. So it could be 20 years to where you need dialysis or a transplant, or it could happen overnight. We have all kinds of patients in different stages.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, Artie Kelsey is with us here today. Welcome, Artie. Great to meet you.
How
I'm so
doing?
glad
How's
you're with us
everybody?
here today. You're living proof that this works, and this foundation has an impact.
She really helped me out a lot. I work at Kelly's Tavern in Neptune, and I was working, and I was down because I was feeling sorry for myself. Like I said, why me? And this is like the process. What took about 5 years once I found out I had the IgA. And so I'm there, and they've been coming in for a while, and they said, hey, what's wrong? And I kind of started breaking down, which I might do right now. And I said, I just said what I was dealing with, and she said, oh yeah, my son has it and everything. And I said, I want to be around for my daughter. That's my traitor. And so she said, oh, yeah, well, she got me out of it. She helped me get out of my funk, you know what I mean? Because I was feeling sorry for myself, a whole lot, and thinking about the future, and do I have a future and all that other things, because they were talking about transplant or dialysis, and I didn't want to do that. I never had to go on dialysis, which was great. So we just started talking. She helped get me in the co-star, a story in the co-star. I'm looking for a kidney donor, and I had, my brother was going to do it, and he was working on the Spring Lake, and he was working on the boardwalk. He got an infection. All of a sudden, it went to his heart. So when they checked him out, they found the infection. So he couldn't do it, but it kind of saved him. Then I had a cop friend of mine. He was going to do it, and when he got tested, all the litany of tests that you have to do, he was. He found out that he was pre-diabetic, so he couldn't do it. So then now it was like a 2-year thing. Now I had to do all the tests all over again, because you have to do about 10 tests or something like that to prove your kidney ready and stuff like that, And so I went through that again, and we went to the hospital, St. Barnabas. We go up to St. Barnabas in Livingston, and they were fantastic. The place was clean. Everybody, they were just fantastic. So, we were sitting there, and the doctor goes, how about my wife? And I said, we didn't want to test her because I didn't want both of us to be on the table, but whatever. So And he goes, oh, he kind of guaranteed it. He was a real good guy, real good doctor. And so they tested her, and like just before Christmas, they found out that she was a match, because she's like, we're universal.
Yes.
So she was able to give me a kidney. And I was like, she went through the test, I went through the test, and the day before the operation, I was still working. I was still playing tennis. You know what I mean? My numbers got really bad. My creatinine went up and my GFR went down, and I was. But I was playing tennis that day. Then I went home and cut the lawn, because I figured I wouldn't be able to cut the lawn for a while, because it was, I'm going to be, indisposed. And I went in. We went in the morning on a Tuesday. They were letting her go. They were going to let her go the next day. My operation was like 4.5 hours. Hers was only like an hour and something. They just cut her open, took the kidney out, glued her back up, and mine was about 4.5 hours. And I was home by Friday. And so when I was going home, my wife couldn't take me home, right? And so Bonnie offered to take me home. So she comes up and she goes, "You need anything?" I said, "Yeah, bring me half a sub sandwich." Because hospital food, I was just, whatever.
Yeah,
and so she brings me the sub sandwich, and so I'm eating that, and I can't put my shoes on. So she puts my shoes on, ties my shoes, puts me in the freaking wheelchair. The wheelchair.
He's like, "You can't put my shoes on." I'm like, "Give me your foot, Artie."
Yeah. I should have had this, because she couldn't tie it. Seriously, she didn't know how to tie it. It was 10 minutes. I'm kidding. But I should have had the Velcro thing.
The Velcro,
and,
right.
She took me home, and it was great. And it was just, before that and ever since, we just been, just my hero. She really
Like
helped
a
out a lot.
He's my hero.
The appetite was robust and came right back for you. So that's good. Yeah. Bonnie, there is no typical story. Through this podcast series, I've learned so many different stories about there's no two ways that people go along the same path. Is Artie's story close to a typical donor recipient story, or is this is like a bottom of the ninth grand slam?
Each one is so different. It's such a weird disease because no two are the same, which is really why it's taken so long to get drugs on the market. And by the way, we have our first drug that ever came to market specifically for IgA nephropathy, and it launched in January. It's called Tarpeo.
Wow.
So we're really
That's
excited
awesome.
about that.
That took a lot of hard work and effort and research to get that. But something that's so rare, how it takes a little while.
It does, and I
it to be
think a
recognized.
turn point for us, we had it. It's called an ELPFDD. It's externally led patient-focused drug development, and we went in front of the FDA with the National Kidney Foundation and the IgA Nephropathy Foundation. And what we did was we had a panel of 10 patients, and Artie was there, and we had them tell their story about how it's unacceptable that steroids is the course of treatment. I mean, we all know what steroids can do to your body.
It's terrible.
A lot of our
a
lot of our patients, we have a little girl who can't even dance anymore because she's riddled with the complications of prednisone, and they thought that was okay as a treatment. So to have Tarpeo on the market was really great, and I think being in front of the FDA, having them hear our plea of this is unacceptable.
Put a face.
It did, and it was a game changer. So what
Yeah.
they did is they've accelerated the pathway approval process, and normally it takes about 8 years to get a drug approved, 8 to 10 years, and this drug is still in trial. But it is on the market. It still has to finish the trial over the next couple of years, but it showed enough promise in the patients that were in the trial that they actually put it on the market.
And if there's nothing else, at the time, it's like, well,
and it also
let's try
brought
this.
a lot of other companies forward, other biopharmaceutical companies, and we have 14 other clinical trials now in progress that we've been able to do just from having a big mouth and going to Capitol Hill and saying, this is unacceptable. I'm going to fix it for my son. And
just said
I didn't do anything.
He just said you had a big.
Didn't do anything. No, I didn't. I said that big mouth bass. That's how it was. But,
And how could you not help patients when they're like this? I mean, it's such joy. It brings me such joy. It's a dark place, but all the patients make it really a fun, great place. And we're family. We call ourselves the IgAN family. There's nobody that can't call my cell phone. I mean, I put it out there to 14,000 people that we have, and growing every day, unfortunately. But they have a place to go. I never dreamt that I would be able to have this happen because if somebody came to me and had all of this ready for me, that's that would have been a game changer. I would have slept better. I would have known.
The years you had,
and like our daughter, she was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, and when she was diagnosed, they had a plan. They were going to do 6 months ABVD, and they were going to do 6 weeks of radiation. And as horrible as it was, I left there thinking, like, this is great. They have a plan. So I could leave and know somebody was in charge. And I didn't have that with Eddie. I was in charge. And I had to do all of this to make it not happen to other people. So it's been...
Keeping your head above water. You know, when you take your wedding vows, for better, for worse, your wife certainly.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
but she wanted me to go to the opera, and I said I wasn't going to the opera. She said, if I give you a kidney, you got to go to the opera. I said, ain't that happening.
You have to go to the opera.
No. Well, I had to draw the line.
It's a tough sell.
You know.
When I got to the hospital, Kathy had given him It's a Girl balloon.
Yeah, I get that kind of frequency. She give me a little like a little kidney bean or something like that, and that's what holds us together. But about when she was talking about the prednisone, I was taking it before for like a pre-treatment that and what's that when you got cancer you take the chemo. I was taking that. That's the thing they give you. They give you this stuff. I couldn't even touch the pills that they gave me, right? You know, and I did it one time, and it cracked all my fingers. Now I say this because that's what you're putting in your body. Yeah. You know, and so when they after they give you the kidney, if they change the kidney around and they put it in the front too, so and they don't take the other ones out. I got 3 kidneys now, but these are all just shriveled up in the back, and so They said they had me on heavy doses of prednisone, and I was like seeing stuff, you know, like I was like, and I get anxieties anyway, and it was messing me up. And so I said, I don't really want to take them anymore. And the doctor listened to me. I'm not on them. I don't have to take them. So I think that's great. And I think other people maybe don't have to be on them. You know what I mean? I just, my own opinion, I mean, why just me? And then other people have to be on them, and they, you know, I don't have to be on. You know, it's whatever.
I mean, that's your, you know your body.
Yeah.
And you know how you feel.
I mean, the doctors are the bosses and stuff like that, but there's so many side effects from everything. You know, like for the pills that you have to take.
The immunosuppressants.
Oh yeah, the immunosuppressants. There you go. Thanks. Don't do that until I go like this. Okay. All right. But
can this IgA come about at any age? You're talking about a little girl, then you're talking about Artie.
I was 61.
Our youngest patient is a little girl who's 2.
Oh.
Yeah, and they're usually fast. I think that one of them had a transplant at age 6. And the thing about IgA nephropathy is that it can return, and it has a 50% recurrence rate. It doesn't mean that second recurrence will end up in failure, but it can come back, and it is... they're still trying to work on it. And we fund research at the University of Alabama, Birmingham, and also Columbia, and we've raised close to $2 million for research. So they're really tapping into the genetics of how it's happening and why we have 3 sets of identical twins. One of them has it and the other one doesn't. Environmentally triggered, it must be somehow. Yeah. So we're all kind of working on it together. And, you know, we need to help the patients that are on these immunosuppressants. Like Artie, you know, wearing a mask now, you know, the vaccine doesn't work. So the immunocompromised holds it to where they can get COVID and it attacks the kidney. COVID can attack their kidney. So they're really, really fearful.
Yeah.
It's a very scary. Tough. And they do have a few trials that are looking promising about giving stem cell injection to the pair prior to, and they don't have to go on the immunosuppressants. But there's like 17 pills you take every day after you have a transplant. So it's not fun.
Wow.
You got your life back, but...
Day and night, you know, you got to take them in the morning like at the same time, at nighttime at the same time.
And skin cancer, which is...
Yeah, I get the skin cancer. I just had 20 stitches, and 20 stitches.
You didn't have that before.
And it's all in the same time, you know, like whatever. And it's just, I'd never had that much before. I got that albino Irish skin, but like, it's, and like what she was talking about, like my protein numbers are up. Like they're up, like when I go to the bathroom, my more protein's coming out, like 6 times more than like you guys when you go to the bathroom. So I don't know, just had a biopsy. Excuse me, and they said there's a little IgA in my kidney. So I don't know, you know, what's going to happen. I don't know how much the progression is going to be. I'm hoping, you know, keep my fingers crossed and whatnot. But it's just another scary thing because who's going to give a 69-year-old man a kidney? You know what I mean? It's like they say, oh well, we got to go on dialysis. I ain't going on dialysis. I guess I have to if I do, but I don't want.
That's a tough.
Yeah.
Thinking about that. Yeah. I'll tell you. Your hard work paying off, and you must be very proud of the strides that you've made with the organization.
I'm honored to I really can't say it enough. I feel like I'm honored that God chose me out of the millions of people to spearhead this and to take it, because I didn't go to school for this. This is just a mother on a mission to save her son. Bottom line. And every day I learn something, and I learned by failing, actually, everything I do, because I don't know how to do it. I mean, 4 years ago, we never even had a pharmaceutical company call me. And then all of a sudden I'm on the phone with them going, okay, what do you have going on? So it's, I just feel honored. And I thank him every day. I really do. I thank him every single day for choosing me. I'm blessed, really.
He chose the right one. And we spoke about that yesterday, Bert, about the power of a mom.
Yeah.
On a mission.
Yeah, and to answer Artie's questions, who would give a guy his age a kidney? Who wouldn't? Right?
Yeah.
A caring, compassionate person. That's
okay. Then I'm going to keep you on. You're on my list.
Am I on your short list then?
Yeah, well, no, you're the first one. You're the first one that said he would do it. So
gotcha.
Okay.
I think you signed up for it.
Maybe I did. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bonnie, how can someone learn more about IgA Nephropathy Foundation?
They can reach out to us at our website, www.igan.org. And also, they can always reach me at bonnie@igan.org, where we welcome everybody that wants to learn more about it. And we're here for you. Come find your family. That's what we say.
Yeah, the more you hear about it and the more awareness, the better it is.
Yeah.
And I'm sure someone in some family would know, oh, by the way, I didn't realize you had an organization. Someone in my family has it, but Artie,
I'm just so happy for it. I mean, she really helped me out a lot. It really helped me out a lot. I mean, like I said, I was like, I wasn't going to give up, but I was like, poor me, like I said before, and she said, "Oh, you can feel that way." I said, "Oh, yeah, thanks. That's good then." I felt good about that.
You're allowed.
But yeah,
absolutely.
It's okay to not be okay. That's where we're addressing mental health, and it's really, really important because that's a huge part of the disease process. Is having that. How long am I going to live? How long am I going to be able to be with my children? My job, the security, insurance, just all of it. And I did want to say that we actually are having an IgA Nephropathy Awareness Day. It's actually, we're getting a proclamation. It'll be a global effort, and we have support from our Norway, UK, India, and we're going to be the first day for IgA Nephropathy. Thank you.
Mom on a mission for sure. Yeah. Bonnie on a mission.
That little tiny rare disease will have a date. If Pizza Day can be on a map, so can IgA Nephropathy Day.
That's right. You're right.
Absolutely. Yeah. Congratulations on that. Well, Bonnie and Artie, thank you both for being here on this episode of Be Inspired. Very inspiring story. I'm so glad we had the opportunity to do so much about your work, and just you have a living, walking example that it works.
Great to meet you.
Thank you both. I'm Bert Baron.
And I'm Lisa Anderson.
Thank you for watching Be Inspired.
Next on Be Inspired.
I wasn't safe anywhere, either at home or in school. I was very bitter for a long time. By the time I was 16, I was in a month-long rehab. I was living in the woods in a tent. And the next thing I knew, I was excruciating pain in my head, people screaming and crying all around me. And then it was just miracle after miracle after miracle.
Be Inspired, with your hosts, Bert Baron and Lisa Anderson-Puleo. Directed by Rod Weber. Created and produced by Michael R. Doyle. Co-producers, Bert Baron, Lisa Anderson-Puleo, Rebecca Gruber, and Erwin Sternberg. Executive producers, Rod Weber and Sean M. Sternberg. Editor, Sean Dueñas. Filmed at New Beginnings Foundation, Wall Township, New Jersey. The IgA Nephropathy Foundation was established in 2004 to find better treatments and ultimately a cure for this chronic kidney disease, which can end in dialysis and needing a kidney transplant. For more information, please visit IgAN.org. In this world of so much negative news, we need inspiration. Be Inspired is created for appreciative audiences just like you. So please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss any of our upcoming inspiring stories. Be Inspired is filmed in front of a live audience. If you would like to attend a filming of Be Inspired, or if you know someone who has an inspirational story that should be shared with the world, please contact us at info@mrdproductionsllc.com. That's info@mrdproductionsllc.com.